Italian student Giulio Regeni, whose body was found in a ditch on the edge of Cairo. And definitely this is something of great importance. I'm talking about the efforts by the Ministry of Interior to find the killers of the Italian student. We have over the phone Brigadier Hatem Fathi. He is the Director of Foreign Relations of the Ministry of Interior. First of all, good morning, sir, and we would like to ask you more about the details in this respect. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. We were talking about the Italian student who was found dead, actually, and the efforts by the Ministry of Interior to find the killers of that student. So definitely this is something of great importance. We would like to understand and ask you more details about it.
Well, first of all, the Ministry of Interior didn't exactly announce that we have arrested the killers or we have reached the people behind that, the death of Regini, the Italian student. We announced that the police have targeted a criminal gang who's responsible for a serial of crimes against people to rob them of their money in Nasr City and elsewhere. They have committed 9 crimes, and by searching the hideout of one of the criminals who were killed in an exchange of fire with the police found the passport and other ID cards related to Regini, and from there another file was opened to investigate how the things reached the criminals. We think, of course, there must be a relation between those robbers and the killing of Regini, but this is still under investigation by public prosecutor.
Hatem Fathi, would you please tell us more about the details of the encounter and how did you know about that tip?
Cairo police received many reports from citizens. Some of them were foreigners, that they have been stopped by a microbus with people pretending that they were police officers and carrying police IDs, asking them about where they were going and where that money come from, especially the foreign currencies, and telling them that they are dealing with the black market and the exchange of money, and then bringing them inside the microbus, taking them to remote areas for more investigation, and afterwards they discovered that they were robbed of their money. So the Cairo police was very much concerned about arresting this gang, and just yesterday they had information that the gang is targeting a place near Cairo, near the police academy, and they had a checkpoint there. When the microbus approached the checkpoint of the Cairo police, they started firing at the police, and there has been an exchange of fire, and consequently the whole 4 persons were killed in the microbus, and we found a 5th body that's still under investigation, unknown body.
Yes. What about the number of the gang? Is it a big gang? How large is it?
The ones known for us were 4 ex-cons in the microbus, and we think that, of course, it's more wider than that, and they are based in Falyoubeya, adjacent to the southern borders of Greater Cairo. Also, the sister and the wife of the leader of that gang is involved. They are concealing the confiscated goods related to the victims. We think that there are other fugitives who are helping them, and I think the coming days will reveal all those mysteries.
Right, Brigadier Hatem Fathi, Head of the International Relations Office at the Interior Ministry, thank you very much for joining us. And still we have more to bring you on the breakfast show. Let's move on to a quick break and we'll be back.
After establishing stability for the Egyptian empire, King Seti I launched the internal reformation to achieve prosperity for the people. He sent many mining campaigns for the gold of El Hammamat area in the eastern desert. Thanks to him, the papyrus of the gold mines, which is in Torino Museum in Italy, describes the roads to the mines. It's considered a unique geographical document. He also cared to dig water wells for the workers of the mines and the quarries. He has also constructed the Grand Colonnade in Karnak, which was completed by his son Ramesses II after his death. His tomb in the Valley of the Kings is one of the most important and the longest ones in the valley. It's full of religious scenes inscribed in the ultimate level of art. His temple in Abydos is a masterpiece amongst the temples of Egypt. He had already finished the building of the main hall of the temple before his successor Ramesses II completed and finished up the temple. His temple in El Gorna set an example to memorial temples in western Thebes. And although he built it for his father King Ramesses I, yet he and his sons' names were commemorated there as well. Seti I has successfully achieved stability and prosperity to the Egyptian people and paved a long road to all who succeeded him to sustain that and build upon it the foundations of continuous glory for the Egyptian empire.
اختلاف اللسان وإن البشر ألوان متفرقين في النوايا والشكل والأديان لكن إلهنا واحد رب البشر واحد بالحب جمعنا كلنا إنسان وتعالوا في حضن النيل وحضارة وادي النيل فاتحين أحضاننا قلوبنا بيوتنا وبرده قليل لكن إلهنا واحد رب البشر واحد بالحب جمعنا وكلنا إنسان وتعالوا في حضن النيل وحضارة وادي النيل فاتحين أحضاننا قلوبنا بيوتنا وبرده قليل
Welcome back, and you're watching Breakfast Show on Nile TV International, and now to the main segment of today's program. And today we're hosting a young lady who's adventurous. She's interested in traveling. That on her Facebook page she wrote that the best two things she enjoys are traveling and diving. Her name is Hussein, but she nicknames herself as Bint Battuta. So welcome with us, Maha.
Thank you.
Maha, good morning, and let me start by talking about traveling. Just as you mentioned, the idea of traveling across different countries. We're not only talking about European countries, we're talking about countries in general.
Yeah,
Tell us about, first of all, why did you take this decision?
Well, why not?
Not an easy decision, especially for a young lady. This is the most important part. Your family, did they support you, the idea just leaving you to travel? And you mentioned that you are paying for your own, you're working to pay for these travels actually. So tell us more about it.
Okay, first of all, I think it all goes to diving because, as you said, I'm a certified scuba diver. And going across Egypt and diving here let me to know a lot of foreign friends or half foreign friends, in which they allowed me to know different cultures through their chit-chatting and everything. So it's like the idea of traveling increased afterwards. I got to know them, and then I've started to explore the usual cities and countries the European countries. Then the idea of going to my top 3 destinations started rising this year. One of them was actually Bali in Indonesia, because I had it years ago in the top of my list.
Oh.
My family actually support me, but actually support me in a moral way or something like that, not financially. They support me to pursue the things that I want in life. And they actually encourage me to go and explore more, even though they are any traditional parents, they are always afraid that something will happen to me abroad.
Yes. Now, when you were in Paris, you wrote comments on your visit to Notre Dame. Why did you choose that particular area or that particular site to comment on?
Actually, Paris is magical. I would like to go back there because you can just walk around the streets in Paris and just feel the magic all around you, the music, the weather, even though it was really hot. But still the spirit of the people there ruled the city, and it's ancient but still modern at the same time, and you get to see ancient stuff, and you wonder how people actually did that back then and still managed to maintain it to be in that condition. So it was actually one of my favorite cities so far, to go to Paris.
Let me ask you about other countries that you visited and your memories about it.
Memories about it? I think
What are the countries first?
Okay,
Where
what
did you
are
go?
the countries? We can start with Turkey, Italy, Spain, France, Holland,
Dubai?
Dubai or United Arab Emirates, and Indonesia and Malaysia. Each country it has its own
And
flavor.
when did you start? How long did it take you to move around all these countries?
I didn't take them all at once. Actually, I first started traveling in April 2014 with my sister. It was a fast decision because
It was the first time.
Yeah, it was the first time. It was 10 days before we decided to actually travel. I called her, told her, let's travel. She told me, what? Are you crazy? I was like, let's go. We can manage it in 10 days and we can travel after 10 days from now. So it was quite an adventure to actually decide to go abroad for the first time just in 10 days.
Now, this is quite interesting. You're talking about almost 8 countries in 2 years, less than 2 years and a half. Yeah. How did you manage that in terms financially and as well as time management as you're working as well?
Okay, I've graduated in 2008. Ever since I entered college or I've started my studies, I didn't take a summer vacation off like the usual student. So last year I've decided to take my summer vacation. I took 3 months off because I was working as a part-timer. So I've decided to take everything I have from the money I've earned and to travel to Europe, to 4 countries for almost 3 weeks. And another country I've managed to go with work last year, and Turkey was between jobs. And for Bali, Indonesia, and Malaysia, they were this year, at the beginning of this year, I've decided to spend New Year's Eve somewhere different.
Tell me more about your studies, your work, your job.
Okay, I've studied business administration. As I said, I graduated in 2008. I was the youngest in that year, my graduation year. Well, I've specialized in marketing. I've worked in marketing for years up till now. Right now I work with a certain brand as marketing manager, but it's something like a freelancing thing. And recently I've joined the training sector, the professional training sector, with an institute, I can't say its name.
Right. Now, Maha, I'd like to ask you about your trip to Dubai, because on your account you mentioned that you traveled twice, but the first time you found it unattractive till you went to the Miracle Gardens.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you tell us why that place was special to you?
Okay, first of all, we have to divide travelers to two different sectors. People who seek nightlife, glorious and luxurious places, and people who like meditation, nature, and temples, and culture. I'm more of the second type, so when I went to Dubai, I was searching for something like this, and I didn't find any. I just found restaurants, cafes, and nightlife, and I'm not that person. So I was like, where's the culture, guys? Where's the temples or the mosques or anything? So when I went to the Miracle Gardens, it was like, yeah, something different, because it's the biggest exhibition or flower exhibition in the world right now. It holds around 2 million something flowers. Everything is built from either flowers, lemons, or oranges. So it was something different to do. I like to do something different every now and then.
Right, but even traveling to the United Arab Emirates and other countries, definitely there is something else that you can take a look at. We are talking about, you were talking about temples, cultures, and all of these issues. Definitely this is something interesting. But what about people themselves? Talking about human resources, as long as you are talking about marketing, so definitely if you are talking about United Arab Emirates, definitely we can see and understand the efforts they exerted to be in such a very, we can see how they achieved a lot in different fields actually, especially when it comes to human resources, providing all the required environment to the employees so he can work, achieve, produce. And definitely this is across the globe. I remember when President Sisi, when they asked him about what did you like in Japan, he told them about the Japanese person. He told them about the way he is working, the way he is dedicating himself to his job. So tell us more about what did you learn from all these people?
All these people, or just the people
in general?
Dubai?
Adding to you the United Arab Emirates, because you talked as where are the temples, but where is something else that really
There's something else. Actually, let's see the other side of the city there. The people there are they don't put their noses in your business. They just
they have no time.
Yeah, no, they mind their own business.